All right, here we go. We're going to talk about Geometry Chapter 1, Skill 2. Skill 2 is how might they ask me to translate a line segment? Okay, so there's a handful of vocab in this chapter and also just the skill of adding and subtracting numbers. So I'm going to show you how that's done. Usually a line segment is 2 points. So if this was point A and B, right, that's a line segment. It has 2 endpoints. So imagine they gave us these endpoints, and this feels a lot like distance. But instead of asking for distance, let's say they asked to move it. That's what they're asking, slide it. So if I slide it, I need to know how much do I slide it. Do I go up, down, left, right, or a little bit of both? So I always put this on my paper as a little key, but if they say up, they need me to add the y, and if they say down, subtract y. They go right, that's adding in the x values, left, adding in the y values. Just a little key. Okay, so imagine they say move right 3, down 4. Pretty easy. Now, just got to make sure we don't get this mismatch. So when they say right 3, we notice right is by the x-axis, and right is in the positive direction. So I'm going to go plus 3, but just to my x values. Then I'm going to do my down 4. Okay, so to do down 4, down is just my y values into the negative. So down 4, down 4. Bada boom, bada bang. Now, this is actually called my pre-image, my line before I move it. Now that I've moved it right 3 and down 4, I would call that A prime and B prime. It's got a little, like an apostrophe. It's the new location. Now I'm just going to add or subtract vertically. 3 plus 3, negative 2 minus 4, negative 4 plus 3, and done. There's my final answer. Looking good. Let's do another one. Imagine another coordinate they gave us, but maybe they get tricky on me. So let's say D and E, those are my coordinates. Now they say move up 3, left 6. You're like, oh, okay, I think it's exactly the same as the last one. But they got a little sneaky. Sometimes we will fall for this trick. They flip-flop which one they started with. Instead of talking about left and right first, they talked about the up and down. Super sneaky on them. So I'm gonna not fall for their trick and just go nice and slow. When they say up 3, I notice that's positive direction for the y, so I'm going to put plus 3 underneath the y. Then, when they say left 6, I notice, there it is, that's in the x values, and that's going into the negative. So I'm going to go negative 6, and do my final new coordinates, D prime and E prime. Looking amazing here. Vertically, I'm just adding my numbers or subtracting depending on what it's saying. I'm technically adding, I'm just adding the 2 numbers, and sometimes when I add a negative, that's subtract. Okay, just gonna double check my math here. Da-da-da, looking sharp. Bada boom, bada bing. That's my answer. Now, what's another way is they could use function form. Sometimes I've seen this word vector form. Now, this is actually, different does not always mean harder. This different could actually mean easier, and in this case, they'd be right. Instead of saying something like this in words, so notice these are words, they actually use symbols and what looks more like algebra. So, let's say they said, please translate the line symbol x minus 4, comma, y plus 2 end bracket. That's code. In fact, what they're saying is left 4 and up 2, but they didn't say the words. They said this. And this is actually easier because I don't accidentally mix up which one to do it to. So let's say the question said, please use this translation rule to translate this coordinate RS. Okay, so I'm going to take the line segment RS. Okay, and now I don't even have the words. They tell me exactly what to do. They said any x value you have, subtract 4. Well, we know that means left 4, but I didn't even need the words because they told me do it only to the x values. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. They said x values, subtract 4. So just this, since that's an x value, I'm going to subtract 4. And since this is an x value, I'm going to subtract 4. Now with the y values, they said with the y values, add 2. So with the y value, that's a y value, so I'm going to add 2. This is a y value, so I'm going to add 2. Vector form, most students think is a little bit more straightforward. Now I'm ready to make this is my pre-image of my line segment. Now I'm ready for my image. So that's going to be R prime and S prime. And 3 minus 4, negative 3 plus 2, 6 minus 4, 6 plus 2, bada boom, bada bing, we got an answer. One more time, just to make sure it sticks in our brain, I'm going to do a translation rule, bracket x plus 2 comma y minus 6, end bracket. If they tell me that, and they give me a coordinate, and another coordinate, so that would be 2 endpoints, makes a line segment. So this is my pre-image. Okay, so let's say that that's the coordinates, and I have to follow this translation rule. So I'm going to accept my orders. My orders are add 2 to any x value, so that's an x value, and that's an x value. Then subtract 6 from any y value. So minus 6, that's a y value, so I'm going to minus 6. Now I'm ready to take my pre-image to my image, following negative 6 plus 2, 4 minus 6, 4 plus 2, negative 6 minus 6, negative 12, bada boom, bada bing. Final answer. Thanks for joining us.